Now, the question now for me to answer is, where do I even start? I'm thinking about starting within the interior, taking out the couches and whatnot, then taking off the doors, taking off the wing or the window, and then taking off the boot, and then try and play it from there. Try and take out all the interior. Try to take it without damaging or breaking anything, but I can't give any guarantees on that one. But I have my Bible here. The Bible will guide me. Everything in this Bible is true, and I must follow it, and hopefully not break anything along the way. Well, that's the hard top off, or the soft top, should I say. It's ruined. There's no point even trying to salvage it. It's bust completely here and here. Not gonna be watertight whatsoever. That's ruined. But it's not all hope is lost, or not all gone wrong. It's even hard to getting these things up. It's hard getting these things off. They corroded, so they did. WD-40 soft that though. Well, I finally got the boot off, and in order to save hours of headache and confusion, I've done something which is quite revolutionary in my eyes, and that is a thing called labeling. Labeling, putting them in little bags and storing them safe will most guarantee to save a lot of confusion. When I was inspecting this car, obviously all the little problems, all the exterior problems would have came in sight automatically. However, this is another hole that I've just discovered. It's actually somewhat of a awkward spot, awkward position. I don't know how easy or hard that will be to weld, but yeah, it's there. I got the seatbelt off, and I'm currently sitting where the seat would be. And these two stereos, I don't know how or if I'm going to get them off. I can get this actual seatbelt off because I won't be able to fit anything in here. And if I am, it's just going to be extremely awkward, long and tedious. Just like the seat. The seats and their bolts was pretty much corroded and through the floor, as you would expect, but they were just corroded and extremely awkward to get off. But I don't know how or if I'm going to get this off. There's just doesn't seem to be any screws, or twist them maybe, pull them off. Don't want to break anything. But at the moment, if I can get out, there's the seats. And I've also discovered something in the boot which I don't particularly like. It's as if somebody had already painted it with something. It's all lumpy and extremely thin. I don't know if they're always like that, but it's as if it's so thin that if I were to stand in here or even punch it as hard as I could probably put a good hole in there. And it's as if somebody else has also put some silicone here. I don't know why. Probably need to hide something or do something. Well, that's something that I've just recently discovered as well. Now for just an extremely quick update. When I'm just taking out pretty much all the interior, I have noticed that there's quite a hefty amount of evidence to suggest that this car in the past was somehow attempted to be restored, and unfortunately they didn't do too good of a job, and it's frankly quite untidy. The carpets for a start was just as if it was just plastered on, nothing much in terms of trying to be neat and reduce the evidence that it was actually pulled up in the past. How I knew this was because the bolts for the seats weren't the same. They weren't identical. All the size of spanners and whatnot just wasn't the exact same as it should be. And the electrical tape underneath, if I can actually pull this back, it's quite untidy, as if someone just plastered it on. You know, it didn't take much attempt of trying to be neat, you know, be organized and nice and neat. And then another thing which is I've also discovered is when I was pulling this off, it was also not exactly even or neat at all. And I think we got this car in the nick of time. It's very thin, very fragile. Just at the top here, as you can imagine, I suppose this here would be suggest why it's like that underneath. The speakers also, I do not like the speakers. The speakers, I thought, whoever had it last, I thought they would have just, you know, screwed it down somehow or glued it down. But it didn't. I know, I was trying to pull it off, couldn't figure out what was going on. And I looked underneath the car, and the bolt, if I can, let's go under. Where is it? I can find, is it there? Let me get a light here, sorry. Somewhere. Aye, there it is. It's he bolted it down through the floor on both sides, and I couldn't believe it. But that's the way he did it. So they'll be chucked out. I think they'll be broken. I think they're, as I said, I was outside for a long time. I think they were just gone. Another thing is, I don't particularly like, is that this bolt of the seatbelt won't come off. And if you look at it, it's corroded to, oh, I never even noticed it was that bad. Right. This is a shock for me. Oh, it's not nice. And with that being so bad, me trying to get this off, I feel as if I can actually feel the floor of it moving up and down. So I think if I put any more pressure than I should, I'll just rip this whole thing off. And obviously I don't want that to happen. So I think WD-40, something, hopefully it does give out. Without me breaking the floor. All of us here as well, as I said, you know, are they all like this, or whoever tried to have it last didn't do too good of a job, you know? That's just the way of it. Another thing, since I haven't got anybody else to help me out doing this, a jack plus my jumper on the door. And as I said, there's such evidence to suggest that somebody has been at this before and they didn't restore it properly or leave it as they took it apart. For example, like reading by the book, the Bible, they say that I have to screw out or drill out the rivets on the doors. And here, if I actually focus, yeah, focus please, focus. It's not gonna focus. It's okay. That's best you're gonna get. It's just a nut and bolt, you know, keeping this thing in together. So I'm going to get this door off. And another thing about the seat, which I'm very saddened about, when I had lifted it, I tried to get a good, you know, lift it and whatnot, as you would do to get the screws at it. You know, you pull this here and it will lift up. However, when I did that, and I set it back down again, it wouldn't budge, and I was confused why this chair wouldn't budge. I didn't even notice that the seatbelt got, I'm on my knees right now and it hurt, but it got caught underneath it like this, and as I kept on pulling it, it just, it's just me being stupid, you know, me not paying attention properly, and that's what happened, unfortunately. I don't think, obviously I can probably get someone to stitch it myself. But that's pretty much it for now. We'll continue on and Hopefully we don't come through any more problems. As I said, I've already discovered 2 holes. 2 more holes than I thought there originally would be, which is obviously to be expected, but as I said, I'm discovering all these problems after problem after problem. Hopefully it isn't too severe. Okay. As soon as I start to record, the dogs decide to go buck mad, but I'm losing my temper, frankly. It's just this. The 2 bolts of the seatbelt just won't come off whatsoever. I've tried WD-40, and as I said about this one, I don't want to rip that off. It's already weak. And then with this here one now, I'm putting my foot onto this here and just trying to pull back, and I'm only getting little bits, and then I'm hearing this clicking, and I don't know what I've done. It just won't come off no matter what. It is coming ever so slightly off, but it's taking forever. And now the piece won't come off, and I even tried vice grips. It just doesn't want to come off. Does not want to budge. I'm sorry for shaking too, but it just won't come off. I don't know why, and it's bucking. It's annoying me because this here side, the other side came off perfectly fine. There was no awkward ones whatsoever, but this is just plain awkward. And now, since I've loosened up the middle part here, the screws are brand new. So it's as if somebody must have done a bit of pieces of work or something, and they added new screws. But that could be a good sign that somebody's actually doing work to it, or a bad sign that someone has done it quite badly. And now for this one too, this little bar, the screw, it won't come out. It won't come out. It's completely, it just fell apart pretty much in the middle part for the star head, and it just won't come off. So I know it's tatty looking, it's tired looking, relatively cheap looking. I still don't want to rip it off, but you know, it does look as if it's gone. It's out. It's just way past the sell by date. Might have to get a new one to rip it off, but that screw just won't come off. So either, see, there's a technique for doing it. When I'm working and whatnot, when there's a door with an awkward screw, there's always one door which has an awkward screw when you want to take the door off, because either whatever happened, generally people who paint, that instead of painting around the hinges, they paint the hinges and the screw. And pretty much what happens is, obviously, as the paint dries, it pretty much fills this little gap. And when you try to get the screw in, you pretty much ruin the threads, or not the threads, the star head of the screw and whatnot. But this here time, it just won't come off. And there's a technique when I'm working and whatnot, that when there's an awkward screw, you get a drill bit, and you put a tremendous amount of pressure on the screw, and just keep drilling until it gets piping hot, until you see smoke, until you smell smoke. Eventually the little thing will pop off. The screw will stay inside and whatnot, but at least you get the door off. But this isn't a door, this is a car, and you don't want anything bad happening to the car, especially the shell of it. So all in all, progress has just been halted by the 2 awkward bolts and the awkward screw. Hopefully I don't lose my temper any further. Hopefully it's plain sailing.